Right.
Wonderful. Protection of Endangered Species by Matthew Smith. My purpose is to persuade you, my audience, that the protection of endangered species is important for our health and the future of our children. An ongoing problem throughout the world, especially in the United States, is the protection and survival of endangered species or threatened species, and saving endangered plants and animals from becoming extinct and protecting their wild places is crucial for our health and the future of our children. Our own backyard could have once had an animal walking or crawling through it, or a plant that once grew in our grass that is never again to be seen anywhere in the world. A phrase most commonly used is, "If it does not affect me directly, then there is of no concern." But we do not realize there are major reasons why we must get involved in the survival of endangered plants and animals in our world. According to Endangered Species International, biodiversity is the variety of life, its ecosystems, population, species, and genes. Saving endangered species, plants, and animals from becoming extinct and protecting their wild places is crucial for our health and the future of our children. Today I will explain to you the ongoing problem we face with the endangerment and the extinction of plants and animals in the world. I will then share with you the steps being taken by the government to try to prevent these plants and animals from going extinct. Finally, I will discuss ways that you can become involved in the protection of endangered species. In the state of Mississippi, we have a frog called the dusky gopher frog, which is in a rapid decline. The most common reason for this decline is the spread of the citrid fungus. They are more threatened than any other species of amphibian found in the United States. The dusky gopher frog, also known as the Lithobates civicis, has been listed as a critically endangered species by the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. In all places all over the world, there are other animals or plants that are facing extinction as well or already extinct. I have included a few charts demonstrating decades of plant and animal extinction. As you notice, this is the extinction of plants starting from the 1500s to possibly what today's ratio would be. Next you will see a graph about animal life starting from back in the 1500s as well, considerably that in the 1900s that was the most important thing for survival was animals. And if you look at them combined, you see that agricultural was not as big a portion as animals are even in today's society. As species are lost, so too are our options for future discovery and advancement. The impacts of biodiversity loss include fewer new medicines, greater vulnerability to natural disasters, greater effects from global warming. Biodiversity provides us with vital benefits: air purification, which filters and regulates the atmosphere and purifying our air. Poverty alleviation. Biodiversity provides the world's population, particularly the poor, with food, medicines, building materials, and protection from natural disasters. Health, which comes from the discovery of all kinds of medicines that come from plants and animals. Purification of fresh waters and agriculture. Now that I have explained the problem facing us with the extinction and endangerment of plants and animals, I will tell you what the government is doing to help protect wildlife. In an article posted by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, they are seeking proposals from the states and U.S. territories in obtaining federal financial assistance to acquire land or conduct planning efforts for endangered species conservation. These grants support conservation projects for species on the federal list of endangered and threatened wildlife and plants and for candidate species. The protection of these plants and animals is vital, or they will be removed from the endangered species list and may never again be seen or known to exist. When a plant or animal is removed from the endangered species list or the threatened species list, they are either completely non-existent or they grow in numbers large enough they are no longer endangered to be extinct. In 2012, the FWS awarded approximately $43.5 million in federal funding in 2012 under 4 grant programs that are available through the Cooperative Endangered Species Conservation Fund. Conservation grants, $10.5 million, which provides financial assistance to states and territories to implement conservation projects for listed species and at-risk species. Funded activities include habitat restoration, species status surveys, public education and outreach, captive propagation and reintroduction, nesting surveys, genetic studies, development of management plans. Habitat conservation planning assistant grants $9.5 million, which provides funds to states and territories to support the development of habitat conservation plans. Through support of baseline surveys and inventories, document preparation, outreach, and similar planning activities. HCP lands acquisition grants, $15 million, which provide funding to states and territories to acquire land associated with improved HCPs. Grants do not fund the mitigation required of an HCP permitting. Instead, they support land acquisition by the state or local governments that complement mitigation. Recovery land acquisition grants, $8.5 million, which provide funds to states and territories for the acquisition of habitat for endangered and threatened species in support of draft and approved recovery plans. Acquisition of habitat to secure long-term protection is often an essential element of a comprehensive recovery effort for a listed species. A grant in Texas which enabled the acquisition of the 289-acre Barker Tract in Hayes County to protect an area of documented golden-cheeked warbler habitat and provide suitable nesting areas for the black-caped vero, both of which are spotlight species for the region. Provided is a chart showing the different regions of the FWS, and each region has specific plant and animal life that is in need of protection. The graph shows different areas of your region of where you can get information and protection for specific species in your area that are in risk of being extinct. Now that I've explained ways that the government is helping to protect endangered species of plants and animals, I will tell you how you can become involved and helping to prevent the extinction of endangered species. There are many steps we can take as civilians to help to ensure the survival of endangered species. Here are a few steps as provided by the Endangered Species Coalition. One thing we can do is to learn everything we can about endangered species that is in the area in which we live and spread the knowledge by teaching family and friends about the wildlife that lives near us and about the benefits of these species, such as clean air and water, food and medicinal sources, aesthetics, and recreation. Getting involved by volunteering at local nature centers and wildlife refuge. Making your home wildlife friendly by securing garbage, reducing water waste in the home and in your garden. Disinfecting your bird baths to avoid disease transmission and placing decals on your windows so as to deter bird collisions. Provide a habitat for wildlife by planting native vegetation in your yard. Minimize the use of herbicides and pesticides. Slow down when driving. Recycle and buy sustainable products. Never purchase products made from threatened or endangered species. Report any harassment or shooting of threatened and endangered species. Protect wildlife habitats. By taking these steps, we can help to protect our wildlife and endangered species and help to prevent future species from becoming endangered as well. Children can actually be involved in the protection of endangered species as well as explained in www.endangeredspecies.com. Here are a few ways kids can become involved. Drawing pictures of endangered species in your area and send them with a letter to your senator or representative as is stated by the website mentioned. Be sure and tell them how you feel about endangered species. Write a letter to U.S. senators and representatives explaining in your own words how you feel about endangered species, why you think it is important to protect them. Make masks and costumes representing an endangered species to wear and march in a parade. Maybe make puppets of endangered species and use the puppets to tell a story to an audience. Make a storybook with drawn pictures to tell a story about endangered species and share the storybook with others. Read as much as you can about endangered species online in your local library and other valuable resources. You can do research to find out what endangered species might be in your area, what others in the community are doing to help, and interview them to find out why they are interested in what they are doing. Share the information you learn with others. Today, I have discussed with you the problem we are facing with endangerment and extinction of plants and animals in our wildlife. I explained to you some of the benefits of protecting our wildlife and demonstrated to you the extent of the problem with species becoming extinct. I explained the various programs in place by the government in order to preserve and protect those species that are considered in threat of extinction. I have then described the various steps we and our children can take to help protect our wildlife and endangered species. Saving endangered plants and animals from becoming extinct and protecting their wild places is crucial for our health and the future of our children. We must take action now to protect our future and to ensure the survival and the future of our wildlife.
Thank you all.